It is mid-August, and I'm gonna be pruning some plants. I'm gonna take you on a little garden tour. When I show off my garden, I say it's not much, but I'm gonna show you what it looked like when it started. I moved into this house this year. This whole zone back here is the native pollinator medicinal plant garden area. I've tried to focus on planting things that are like wild plants that I've connected with that are in my products in my garden first. I mean, they just so happen to be like native medicinals as well, because that's pretty much everything that I do. We've got the bayberry tree, we have the elder tree in the back with the creeping oregano, sage, we have skullcap here, 2 echinaceas, I have a fig tree, which is actually a cutting that has been in my family since my great-grandparents' house in Brooklyn, like maybe not 100 years ago, but like 80 years ago. We have one of my favorite medicinal herbs, anise hyssop. We have a swamp milkweed back there, another kind of milkweed here, and we have 2 baby bee balms. I feel like everything that like I try to do and be about is like, you don't have to follow some like insanely strict rule book. Like, plants are a lot more resilient than we give them credit for. So this is my skull cap, and just talking about imperfect gardening, I should have planted this girl in a much shadier area, but I'm hoping that this bayberry is going to grow big enough to kind of shade it out in the future. Also, one of the first like gardeners I really got to know, like, you know, years and years and years ago, kind of instilled in me that like it's okay to let the plants like let them go through a little bit of struggle. They'll come out better off. So I guess I'm not practicing gentle parenting with my plants. I got it from Dancing Bee Nursery in Pennsylvania. Let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. I see some like baby leaves coming out of here, so I'm just gonna go for, oh, this is always scary, guys, always scary. Woof. Okay, and I'm gonna do one more snip because this is kind of experimental. I've never nurtured a skullcap plant before. All the parts that kind of had like flowers, I'm gonna just snip them back. All right, it's a little difficult, but you know what? You've got to experiment in this life. What if we didn't have gardening books? What would you do, right? We're not gonna have like our first frost, like our first cold ass day, probably till like after Halloween at this point. So that gives us, it's kind of scary. It's only 2.5 months away, but that gives me, my plants, like enough time to grow from now until then. Those babies will mature into hardened parts of the plant so that that can withstand the cold and it won't like harm the plant by pruning it now. Or we're gonna hope. We're gonna literally do it and hope for the best. This anise hyssop is like slowly but surely becoming one of my favorite medicinal plants. Also, the pollinators love it so much. Every time I'm over here, this plant has so many like little bumblebees and everything, like just devouring my flowers. It's been super hard to justify snipping the anise hyssop because the pollinators love it so much, but if I snip it, it'll come back stronger, not only next year, but a little bit this year, because I did snip it about a month ago, and look, it's already kind of growing back strong. You see that? That's all like new growth. So we're gonna give it a snip, and I'm not gonna worry too much about where I snip. I'm just gonna, okay, there we go. It's about how much I took off, and we'll see if that stimulates some new growth before frost. Okay, this one's gonna be kind of hard for me because I rescued this baby. This is a lemon balm, and whoever lived here before me was a gardener, because I have found a lot in this yard, which has been really fun. So there was this lemon balm, there's a lemon verbena, there is, I found onions, like just randomly in the yard, and I transferred a lot of them. And just another example of like with gardening, there's best practices, but you know, you don't have to follow every rule to a T. This lemon verbena over here, I'm going to show you. is another plant that I'm gonna snip, and I just transferred it. I transferred it from a different area of the yard to here, and I noticed it didn't take very well, and I looked it up. I was like, oh, does lemon verbena transfer easily? And it was like, no, you're gonna kill it. And I didn't kill it. There you go. There's also a lot of other like zones in the yard that I'm working on little by little. Like there's a whole other herb area, there's a bird area. I only have one planter in the ground this year. I just wanted to start with tomatoes and basil, and then in the future we're going to expand it, and then there's a grapevine area. The best thing about a garden is that it grows. It literally gets better every year. It doesn't have to be absolutely outstanding, perfect in year one. Yeah, I guess my message for today was just hello. Come check out the beginning of my new garden. My intention is to create like a medicinal, pollinator friendly food forest and have fun doing it, and to not take it too seriously because this is my hobby, and not be so scared to just play and mess up and experiment. That's all. Glam Gardener signing off.